Back, everybody. It's another Saturday, but unfortunately not a regular Saturday, as unfortunately Rutan could not be here today due to reasons. Um, for Rutan, I hope everything is going well and that you have a lovely weekend. I know why you're not available, and I hope that event goes well. For everybody who is now stuck with me by myself for the next hour and a half or so, welcome. We are looking at an early rally point scenario. I feel like it's been a while since we last saw a rally point special, as one might call it. This one in particular is actually from the quote unquote the relics quote unquote pack, which I believe they're all supposed to be either reworked or taken from inspiration or unused scenarios from the Schwerpunkt group. So I believe I've mentioned this before, but essentially, Schwerpunkt existed, came out with a lot of magazines, and I believe they eventually became Rally Point, or Rally Point got the blessing, or there's some lore there. I would actually, this actually just makes me think it would be really cool if there was a like a compendium of ASL lore to try and figure out like where all these groups came from, who were the creators or the main organizers, that sort of thing. Either way, um, we have, as I said, a Rally Point scenario. This is from their third pack. This was released in 2008. I know I've talked a little bit about Rally Point stuff, and I believe Schwerpunk stuff last week, or not last week, but Monday, when it came to the solo scenario, and just mentioning that they do references and all that, which is really cool. They also have some information on their scenario cards that talk about who designed it and sort of gives you a kind of inside look of how things are made. As an example, the sound of hoof beats. If you look at the scenario card, underneath the what they call coordinating instructions, but is actually the SSRs, you'll note that it says scenario design Mike Faulkner 083008.5, which if we're using time codes properly, and presumably Rally Point is in the United States, this would coincide with August 30th, 2008, and it's the fifth iteration of this scenario. So kind of cool that they give you an inside look as to who made it and how many tries essentially it took for it to go published or public, however you want to treat it. So the sound of hoofbeats is a scenario between the Germans and Polish. This is actually one of those few scenarios where the Germans are on the defensive, so we have a lot of potential shenanigans that we can do with the Polish group. This one also is quite unconventional just in how everything will play out. So I'm going to put down the turn tracks here, and we can get it started with with describing everything and all that fun stuff. So, as mentioned, this is the Polish versus German, and as a result, this scenario kind of features something that most people don't like, or at least it, for the most part, people don't seem to like it, which is cavalry. Now, people don't like cavalry because, honestly, it's a couple extra rules. Some of them are hard to just remember, just by way of how it works. So as an example, having cavalry where they're always affected by, they always get a -2 when they're being shot at. Having to do bailout all the time can be very confusing, and it might seem, in a way, it seems unfair as well because the side with cavalry tends to lose units really quickly if their cavalry gets shot at, which then makes people not want to use cavalry, which you don't get to use the bonus movement that those horses obviously provide. So it's kind of this cascading effect that happens. We've played through several on this channel and in this project. So there's plenty of examples of us, whether it's Tenorian, Hypnobeard, Rootin, can't forget him, Stu, and I know there's one or two other people that I'm missing that I apologize for forgetting you, but long and short of it is that there's other scenarios out there that I've played with or without other people, and you can get a good idea as to how we've either done it well or not. So this scenario, as mentioned, it's the Polish side that's attacking. We have some, I don't want to say weird, but it's different constraints that you don't normally see. So in this case, it's a 2-board map. The Germans can set up anywhere on board 12, and they can set up anywhere on board V as long as those hex numbers are 7 or less. So, basically this giant rectangle here. The Polish, on the other hand, can set up can enter either east, west, or south. There's no one side that they have to come in from, so you can technically come from all 3 sides. You can hammer away and just come in from one side entirely, that sort of thing. And I think that's going to kind of reveal one of those strengths that if you're given like full mobility, then you should absolutely take advantage of it. Do that. So the mission or objectives of this scenario is that the Polish win at game end if they have earned 5 or more VP, provided that the Germans have not earned 9 or more CVP. The Poles earn VP as follows. They get 1 VP per squad equivalent or 2 SMC exited as prisoners off of the south edge. They get 1 VP per stone building hex that is rubbled, and another VP, and 1 VP per multi-hex building containing a blaze. So if we look at the map, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 buildings that I can readily see, and that I'm pretty sure I did not mess about. So there are 6 buildings, 6 potential VP. Getting prisoners and exiting them is going to be kind of tough because, well, getting back to the south edge is a little tough, and it's a distance. I'm not sure if you can, I imagine you must be able to load prisoners on horses and stuff. So that's also something to keep in mind. The Germans in this instance do have conscripts. That's very important because conscripts do perform worse when it comes to being in CC. So if a Polish unit can survive getting to them, get into CC, they can get that. They can apply that bonus, which will be really handy for them, provided they don't die, of course. But we're not there yet. So the special scenario rules in this instance. EC is moderate, which is kind of standard. I'm almost tempted not to put anything, but I am going to want to do some stuff with fire, so it's probably best for me to have it. There is no wind either, so it'll take a 12 really or a 2, I guess, for anything to happen. There is a +1 LV hindrance, so this is just a +1 that is active at all times. That's really going to I'm just going to put the mist counter, but it's not mist because mist is based off of range, if I remember correctly. So point just being that it's going to be harder for defenders to protect themselves, and really lends an advantage to being able to move up. Additionally, the Germans get to hit 1 MMC and any support weapon and single man counter that are set up with it. And lastly, for kindling purposes only, the Polish side has Molotov capability. I believe it adds a +2 to any flame creation. The Poles may exit the board starting on turn 5. It doesn't say where. And this is a kind of this is something that should potentially have some clarity here, because the mission requires you to exit units off the south edge for points. But if the rule says Poles may exit the board starting on turn 5, do they mean board V? Do they mean board 12? Is it on a specific side, or is it anywhere? I'm going to assume for this purpose that it's anywhere, even if it's north. And the reason being is because it says any Polish units exited after turn 5 do not count as CVP. So kind of like recall. If you've ever played with vehicles and you've had a unit come under recall, if a unit is recalled and leaves the board, they do not generate points for the opposing side. So in some instances, you do want to try and just go ham and shoot a whole bunch because, well, even if you break your weapon, you're not giving your opponent points, which can be a concern in some instances. So with all that said and done, as mentioned, the Germans will do get to set up in their group. The Polish get to set up or get to enter on any side other than north. So I kind of don't want to do random, but if there's anybody in the chat that would say something, whether it's east, west, north, or south, please do say so now. If not, then I'm just gonna go with my the west side here, because I think it's just gonna be better for them, if I'm being honest. South might be good as well. I think east is just problematic because of the bridge, which really limits mobility. Because you'd have to go across the bridge if you had a unit that puts down a little bit of residual firepower. Then you're doing a lot of damage potentially for every unit that goes around, goes through. So you have to go around. Dropping horses off way at the top is not great. It's not terrible, but you have to go down and then back up to your horses. Similarly, if you have to skirt this gully from the south side, you're going towards an objective, which is nice, but it is just extra time for nothing, based off of one hex. Whereas on the west side, you have a lot of open territory. You can get shot at, which is a problem, but other than getting shot at, you do have alternate hexes that you can go through, so it's not the end of the world. Unless there's like a fire lane and it's like perfectly placed, but I can tell you right away, if I'm playing solo, there's no such thing as perfectly placed, because I unfortunately know my own weaknesses in this case. Also because the way I set up a unit means I'm not going to be able to do fire lanes, so there's that. Lastly, if I'm still talking about strategy here with the Polish side, coming on through the south side is not technically a bad idea. You do have a lot of open ground, so even though you have to go up, it is just one, potentially two hexes, depending on how far you want to go. If you're galloping or you're getting that extra movement where you're moving 20 instead of 12, you can cover a lot of ground, so that's not really a concern. There's a lot of defensive terrain that you can use as cover to get up into on turn 1. Perhaps turn 2 if you're unlucky with your movement, or unforeseen like consequences or whatever. And then turn 2, you can most likely get into these wooden buildings, and then it's a matter of going into the stone buildings. So it's not necessarily a bad idea. I just think that much like the gully on the east side, the gully that's sort of in the middle here, that's splitting the west and south, really does a lot to funnel you into either one, costing you too much movement factors to get through, or just kind of funneling you either through a bridge or, as you would have to do if you're coming south, into these two buildings, if not, through this area. Technically south, like I said, it's not bad. You just don't really want to go through the southwest. It's not that great. Yeah. Now, I've also had quite a few problems in in playing with cavalry, where sometimes it feels like you just don't use enough in order to get an objective or overpower the enemy, whether it just, regardless of if it's for an objective or not. Sometimes if you just don't have that decisive rush of units, you just can't really close out what you would really want to do. So I'm gonna try and do something and hope I do it correctly here. It might not come to that, but you know, that's sometimes that is life. Um, I also kind of wanted to put it as more of a random thing as to where I would come in from. Unfortunately, no answers from chat, so I'm just going to go with west. Like I said, I think west is one of the better options. I think it would probably be west, south, and then east is probably if I had to rank them, and then go from there. Now, you get 3 leaders. You get a DM MMG, so you can't start with it undm'd. And I'm going to have it come in on the wagon just because, I don't know, it just felt appropriate to have the wagons. I could probably have 1, maybe 2 extra horse counters, but I'm not going to bother with them just because. I don't think it's really necessary. You can always, I feel like I can always skip on some horse counters, and I'm still fine. So, all right, that is the setup. So let's go straight into the game and try to enjoy it. So first things first, weather. There's no change for weather, so don't have to worry about that. I will have to worry about some terrain modifiers. Specifically, I always forget how much grain costs cavalry. It might be 2 rather than 1.5, which isn't really the end of the world, but it is something to know about. Infantry, cavalry is still 1.5. All right, perfect. And then there's woods, but I'm not really worried about woods. So first things first, we're gonna have our units go in one at a time, and they're gonna CX because I really want to get into these buildings, put down some flame if possible, and also with units that like can't really do anything or might not have targets, whereas everybody else needs to go and try and capture some units and you know, bring them off board. So the idea is going to be this sort of like strike real fast, put down some flame, hope they turn into blazes, that sort of idea. If they become blazes, they can't be extinguished, so the Germans it'll be kind of like an automatic point loss, or point gain, I should say. So yeah. And now I'm thinking about it, I should also do these two. So I'm going to have this be VP, and the Germans will stay CVP. So, like I said, all these units will declare CX, but I will move them individually because I don't want them to all get shot at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, if I zoom in a little bit, is that going to help with movement? Probably. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So not really so far in the movement department. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to get here for 12. This guy's going to reveal himself because this is just a very delicious shot. 8 down 2. It will be a cower, but that's still 2 on 6, which is a straight up KIA, so it doesn't even really matter. That guy's just eliminated, which again feels common for feels common whenever cavalry is involved, but that is how things go. There's also 2 residual. Next unit will also declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do I have anybody else that can shoot technically? You know what? I'm just going to try and ride this high as much as possible, really. I'm going to have squad in 07 is going to shoot with the MMG only. It's a 5 down 2, I believe, because that is going to hit the horse, and then we'll figure out the rest from there. So in this instance, 5 firepower. I rolled a 5, which is exactly what you need to for the vehicle star line. The vehicle star line being important to determine if a horse unit, a horse counter is eliminated or not. So if we go to our handy dandy rulebook and we We look at capacity, vulnerability, all that sort of stuff. So horses, whether mounted or not, are attacked on the vehicle star line. They don't get, horses themselves don't get a -2. That's always for the other stuff. The IFT being 5 would equal the vehicle kill number. So one horse counter is suffers casualty reduction. So essentially that becomes a 2 horse counter. There's no random selection we have to do. And then it acts as a... then you do the actual result on the riders themselves. So as mentioned, it's a down 2 shot, which is a 3 on 5. 3 on 5 is a 2 morale check. So those guys will break, essentially. And then they have to split, and will have to take that fall. So they are split into 2, and then one will take a morale check. They will fail it, which means they are eliminated. So it is 3 CVP right away. And then I believe the other guys will just might successfully bail out, I believe. So the rider of an eliminated horse must bail out. That's what we've done. That's why they got split. They were broken by the attack, because you do the morale check and reduction before, and then you do the bailout stuff. So if if a squad horse counter is reduced, randomly determine which half squad horse counter each single man rider support weapon is riding. We're not doing that, so it doesn't matter. If the squad riding that horse isn't affected by attack, it immediately deploys in order to have one of its half squads randomly determined to bail out. So yeah, I think he's just broken still on there. I feel like they should automatically bail out. Yeah, if cavalry breaks, it must bail. There we go. And the horse counter is considered to have bolted and bailed. So next guy will has to roll. So he bails out, and I think that means the horse is also gone because they've bolted. So really, really, really bad start. The machine gun did not get rate of fire, which is important. We'll see if this is a very short game. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. So 5, definitely within range. Should definitely have line of sight on it. Yeah, it's there we go. So line of sight on it. No issues with range or anything. It was 5, so there's 2 residual. So next guy will do the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think I could shoot. Is there yeah, I don't think 07 could cover J3, so there's not much I can do. I am going to have the 447 final protective fire, so that counts as their morale check, which they're fine. 4 on 2. Sorry, 4 on 4, because it's double halved. That will be enough to eliminate the horse counter, which is really bad because this is turning out to be all the numbers that they need. Number of horse counters equal up to the highest can ever listed on that number. Yeah, so essentially this horse is gone, so we can delete that. It is a 2 on 4, which is a K2, so automatically a squad is halved. And then they will take a 2 morale check, which they will pass. And then for bailing out, they have to take another morale check, which they will break. There's a very interesting question here where a bailout, I don't know if a bailout causes ELR. That's actually something I don't think I've ever considered in the past here. ELR, does ELR happen with cavalry bailouts? no, and cavalry, no. So I think they're okay. I don't think they take it. All crew types. Very interesting question, but I don't see anything. I don't see anything about cavalry, and I don't see anything about bailout. Riders? No. Okay. I don't see anything that would suggest it does, so I'm gonna play it without. If somebody does know, please let me know because that would be it'd be interesting. I would love to be corrected on that one, if there is indeed a correction. So turn one, and the Polish side is already halfway towards their lost condition, which isn't good. This next guy also will gallop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then there is 2 residual. I'm just gonna try 2. Jeez, this feels like very much like last time where there's just absolutely a horrible time going on here. That is the horse number. And if I roll for... oh, no, wait, sorry. I'm doing the wrong thing. So that is a... like I said, the horse kill... Well, kill number. It's equal to the vehicle number for horse, which causes the horse counter to get reduced. A 4 on a 2 is a 1 morale check, so that squad will take a 1 morale check. They're fine. They immediately become a... they immediately deploy, because one of the horses left, and then one of them will take a morale check for bailing out. That is also a really good question. If a bailout... Can you heat a battle on a bailout? That is another question. Heat a battle. A15. Bail. Interesting. Unarmed units, cavalry, but at the time... If you were bailing out, you were no longer considered... Okay, let's see if there's a Q&A here. This is actually another really good... I'm surprised this is coming up with so many questions that I'd love to have an answer to. Random selection stuff. Heat of battle. A broken crown script takes failing the executes as a heat of battle. No. Broken unit attempts assisted rally. We're not talking about that. I do not see anything about it. Well, let's see if there's anything in cavalry, or sorry, if there's anything in bailout. But my assumption is that, yeah, my assumption is that you would be able to have it work. Bailing out. Is there anything heat of battle? All right. So last thing to check before I really make a decision here. Bailing out. Is there any other decision on this? No. Okay, cool. So here's my here's going to be my rationale for this. So at the time that this 248 is rolling for bailout, they are no longer considered cavalry because the horse gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It has been eliminated. So these guys are basically just rolling for the effect of no longer being cavalry. That is my understanding here. I would actually love to see if there's a Q&A there, because I don't see one in my notes or in my QA stuff that I have access to. And I don't really feel like looking up the other Q&A stuff that I have to see if that might have even more information on it. So, yeah, maybe something to put a pin in it, or somebody else can comment on the video when you're watching this, and I'll have the impetus to go check. So, like I said, I'm going to consider this guy not cavalry, which means he gets a heat of battle for passing their bailout. So we do their roll, 7. They are elite, so it goes down by 1 to a 6. and then their allied minor, which bumps it up to 2 by 2. So it's an 8, which means they battle harden. They unfortunately cannot battle harden, so they will become fanatic. I almost wish that they were berserk in this instance, but what can you do? The squad will take a shot because that was just the residual. They will break, and it will be. It doesn't. Okay, so. That's also very interesting because they residual, and then I guess you're attacking both. Yeah, I think that works that way. So so hear me out on this. You have to do the bailing out stuff, but then that doesn't technically prevent them from having moved into the hex. So they're still considered, you know, whole moving target and whatever, even though they now the two units now share or don't share the same properties, in that one is cavalry and the other is not. They'll still get both -2s, but still. So that is a 7 on 4. It will not do anything for the horse, but like I said, 7 on 4, which is a pin task check. I believe the fanatics do take pins, which is unfortunate, so I'll have to roll for that. But I do want to take out the thing here. There we go. So I'll do pin task check with the fanatic guy first. He's fine, and then with the horse guys. Actually, do they take pin results? Man, am I messing that one up? I think they don't take pin results, which is even better because, yeah, pin and heat of battle. Yeah, they don't take pins. Okay, cool. So that just means that the fanatic dudes are fine. That was, I believe, 12 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so that was 12, which means there's 8 left, and they've only used half. Well, I guess technically 3 of their 4. One guy's already bailed out. I'm gonna have the non-fanatic guy continue. You go there, please. Thank you. So this is it's 1.5, so it's 13.5, and then 15, and then I believe dismount is just 1. It's not cost of terrain. Because it's like 1/4 of their movement. So, so they will disembark or dismount in L5. That'll end their movement. This guy's done his movement, and yeah, okay. That was a bit of a handful here. Next unit, gonna declare gallop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Will yeah, I'll just jump down for their last movement point. Next guy will do pretty much the same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I'll just disembark here because it doesn't, or yeah, dismount there because I don't think it's really gonna matter. I got some broken units, so I'm gonna send the 8-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's CX'd. I'm lazy here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we'll dismount. There's really not much that this sport weapon can do because you can't see some of the stuff, and also he can shoot at closer units, so he's kind of stuck. The 9-1 will do a similar idea, so declare CX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or yes, 6, 7, come on, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know, he can't see him. I don't think he can see him. So, gets there for 15, and we'll dismount. I'll just take off the CX because it doesn't matter. I have one squad with a horse on my lower part of the group here. They will declare gallop. 1, 2, 3, 4.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I forget if this guy is real. I don't think he is. No, okay. 9, 10, 11, and I would dismount. I do want to keep the horse counter there, though. The first wagon, I don't believe wagons can gallop or get any extra movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this guy will do the same, just a little bit further back. Oh, how else do I want to do this? You're going to declare CX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then the squad is going to shoot. So it's a 4 down 2. Oof, man. Okay, well, everything has been ugly here. So that is going to be a 1-on-4, which won't matter what happens. It's really just like, that's a KIA, so these guys are just dead. That's not looking good. This will be considered first fire completely. And there is a 2 residual. I might as well just move these guys together, I guess. If I do CX 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5, 12.5. You know what? I'm taking this huge risk, and we'll see. We'll see. Just because it's funner if you're taking risks here, especially when you're playing against yourself. 2 down 2, 7 is not going to do anything. 5 is a normal morale check though, so first guy can't pin, so he's fine. Second guy, I'm gonna just roll 8s. I'm really lucky here. They're fine. This guy is first fired. I believe that's 13.5, and there's 1 residual. Not that that's gonna matter. Do I want to keep going with both? Do I want to... You know what? I'm going to... Oh, no, wait, I can't. I have to just do subsequent with... Yeah, you know what? I'll take that chance. Okay, so this will only be the squad because the MMG is technically pointing this way. So it would be 2 firepower. Leader directed doesn't really matter in this case because there's no cowering to take into effect. That is a 5-on-2, which is not enough to kill the either horse, but that is a 3-on-2, which is a 1 morale check. So top guy is fine, bottom guy is also fine. Okay, I'm very lucky at that. So I will continue. I'm gonna split these guys up actually, because now I'm just like very paranoid that something bad's gonna happen. So I believe this is 14.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14.5. 15.5. I'm going to have this guy final protective because why not? Okay, well, 2-on-4 is going to be another K2. Jesus. That is going to eliminate the horse. And then, guy becomes half no matter what. Take that away. So that's 7. And then it's a K2, so he takes a 2 morale check, which he's fine, surprisingly. Then he takes a bailout, which is fine, because that's just a regular morale check. And that is that movement. That is the movement for this guy anyways. There is a 2 residual. I think, like I said, this was 13.5. So 14, 15, and then we'll jump out. Or jump out. We'll dismount. And yeah, okay. Huh. Well, I got one last guy to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... I'll just have him go here and dismount. I think that's the simplest of solutions here. Cool. So that was movement phase, because nobody else can move. Defensive fire, I mean, honestly, everybody's already shot. I don't really think there's much else I can do. There is a potential where maybe I shoot with this guy here, but I think this wouldn't, I think this would clip it, and so it wouldn't be visible. I might have only had a shot at M8, and they're conscripts, so they're kind of sucky anyways. Alright. So that's pretty much it for defensive, because I can't think of anything else I want to do. Advanced fire phase. Do my guys have assault fire? No, that's a shame. I mean, I could do 4 up 3. That's not really good. I could do 2 up 1. No, all right, cool. That's pretty much all I'm gonna risk here. Now we got fun stuff with routes. This CX goes away. That CX goes away. Same thing with this guy. Yep. Okay. So routes is going to be kind of peculiar here because there is one prisoner thing I think that's going to apply, which is great for the polar side, but still. So first things first, of the broken units, there's one in K4, one in L2. The guy in L2 can technically route kind of in 2 different options. I can select M2 because I'm not getting closer to this guy. If we string it out, you can see 6 and 6. So it doesn't really matter where they go. They'll go for the safety. Actually, you know what? No, that's not what I want to do. I want the safety of leader to give me buffs. So they'll go to L1. And I'd almost forgotten about that. The problem with this guy is that I think technically I have to route to I5. And I don't know if that is going to be possible. Yeah, no, that is completely blocked. Cool. So I get to route through J4 and then I5. If I was smarter, I would have thought about it and put the 7-0 in J4. Or even just H4 or whatever. But I wasn't thinking about it, so gotta live with it. And then lastly, there's the German squad in L4. Now, this will qualify for capture, and this is very important for whenever you're looking at the rules for this sort of stuff. So capture will take place automatically whenever a unit has to route but has nowhere to go that would not cause interdiction. So even if you, like, I don't think you can even low crawl in that instance. If you're like surrounded, or everywhere would be dangerous, you just automatically become prisoners. Let's see if I can find the rule here for it. So any broken infantry unit during its route phase that is both adjacent to a known good order armed enemy infantry or cavalry and unable to route away from it, or only able to route while being subject to interdiction or resorting to low crawl, regardless of how it actually routes or if the possible unconcealed interdictor is known to it. So the important part here, and I believe I didn't do this last time or one of the other times where I was playing myself, if you have a building where you've completely surrounded a unit, they would become prisoners because they're unable to route away from the known good order or armed enemy adjacent unit, blah blah blah. So, and it's a matter of will surrender to the enemy unit as its prisoner instead. This isn't the unit becomes, you can choose to eliminate it for failure to route. Doesn't work here. The unit has to become prisoner, and in that instance, that is where you are able to declare whether or not you are taking prisoners or not. So no quarter would be the thing to keep in mind here. So for this guy, he's going to he becomes prisoner. I get to select who he becomes a prisoner to, and in this instance, I might as well give him to the fanatic guy, if only because he's already a half squad, and it's just, I'd rather him be a target than anybody else. We can take off the DM counter, and that'll be it. So, and for anybody curious, so the unit in L4 can't go to M5 because it's adjacent. Can't go to the hexes that are being occupied because obviously can't go to L3 because it's open ground and in view. And M4 would be interdicted no matter what. So, no matter how you slice it, those units become prisoners, which is great for the Polish, although they're only going to get their points later on. So, gotta hope I can last that long with them. And so far, that is not looking the best. So we'll go to the advanced phase. In the advanced phase, I get to obviously move one hex with a bunch of people. So I'm going to go for some protection here. I also am very worried about what hexes I am choosing, if only because I am really worried about this 9 firepower group. Normally I probably wouldn't because it's, you know, it's not really the end of the world for there being 9 firepower. Like being against an MMG in a squad sucks. That is for sure. But it's not necessarily a problem all the time. You know what? I'm going to have this guy I'll say I have this guy continue just to make it easier. Normally it wouldn't be that much of an issue, but I'm at 7 of 9 CVP lost, and that is not good. So as you can probably imagine, that is not good. It's fair to say as well that the Germans can't earn 9 or more. So I technically only have 1 CVP I can lose, and if I do lose that, that's fine. But it's the next one after that I only have 1 point of leeway is what I'm trying to say here. There's only 1 CC that could potentially happen. I know it's fake, but obviously I have to play it as if it was real. I think it would make sense to have a unit get up to it, and if they're not shot at, you would send more units in the same direction. Technically, I would have sent the guys with the DCs singularly rather than together, but it's just saving time. And I played it as them being together for penalty purposes. But thankfully, it did not end with an immediate game turn 1 loss. So that's something, I guess. So German turn 1, we're going to do weather. There's no weather change, which is all right. 1 DM will come off if we check our rallies. There's only 1 to do, and surprisingly, we'll make it, which fantastic. Doesn't heat a battle, which is unfortunate, but you can take what you can get. There's nothing for the Germans to do, and we'll go into prep fire phase. And I think I immediately need to do an 18 up 3. Okay, that turned out to not be great. Ooh. I am going to take that risk, even though I really don't like it. Yeah, I'm going to take that risk. So that's kind of the only prep fire I want to do. I do have one other I could think about doing, but I think I'm going to skip on it. So, movement phase. So, the one thing to keep in mind here is that the Polish don't get any other units. Everything they have on the west is what they have. So, it's fair to say I want some units to move and try to kick the Polish while they're down here. So first things first, I'm going to have these guys move with the mortar. So they only have 2 movement. So 1, 2. Because now I can at least see, into this hex, and I can see, K7, that sort of thing. The unit in S9 is going to move as well. I don't want to declare CX, but I do want to move with them. So they will move 1 to S8, and then 2, 3 into R7. Oh, you know what? I don't think I can technically do that. So they'll go to R8. I go to R8. Yeah, he doesn't really have a shot on anything else. So 2 down 2. Okay. Today, like last time, just great rolls all the time. 2-on-2 is K1. So immediately half squatted. I should move these guys a little bit up. There you go. So you're half squatted and take a 1 morale check, and they will break. Oh right. I didn't put. I'm a dork. I didn't put the sniper info and stuff. Although I don't think I rolled any snake eye. I rolled 1 on a morale check. That's true. Okay, good. Because both sides have 2 as their sniper. Cool. So that guy broke. This guy is first fired, and there's technically 1 residual. Not gonna matter. No. All right. Next conscript squad is also going to do 1 into S7. I think if I remember correctly, this marking means you can see, like, it's nothing exists at ground level, so you can see through. I'm not gonna shoot anyways, but something to keep in mind. And then 2-3 into the building. The guy in V5 is going to move 1, 2, 3, and I don't think anybody can see him, so he'll stay there. I don't think I have anybody else. I don't want to move this guy, and this second line squad in Q8 is going to go to Q7 for 1, and then P6 for 2. And I have to shoot with this half squad. There's no reason not to. It is a 4 down 1. They will cower, so it's technically a 2 down 1, which is a 6. Pintash check. They're fine. And then this guy is will be final fired. I don't want to go into 06 because that's just going to invite some shots, and there's no reason to take it. So that'll be it for movement. Defensive fire phase. I'm going to try. This is going to be dumb, and the only reason is because this is very tight. But I'm going to try an M5T4 shot, and that is disgustingly available. So it is a 1 down 1, technically. If I should have shot during whatever. Normal morale check. They're pinned. Which actually is great for the Polish side because they get to run up to this guy and potentially murder him in the middle of the road. So these guys shot. And you know what? I might as well try a 4-up-3. Man, if only I had had an extra squad there. Nothing. Alright. Advanced fire phase. I think it's fair to do a 4-up-3 in return. Not going to get anything. And that's kind of it. There's not much I can really do. One of those low unit counts. So once people do stuff, it's kind of it. It's over quickly. All right, routes. There's only one that can happen. I technically can't see the guy in 07, so I'm gonna route. Ooh, I wouldn't be able to route there. I have to go back to S9. So I can't route towards... my goal was to try and go to R6 for the leader and try to rally with him. But you can't because the ground floor in R7 doesn't have anything. And this guy in 07 would be able to interdict. So he can't go there. Yeah. And I can't go to Q8. The entire idea is like I can't go to Q8 to enter it, go up a floor, and then across. It wouldn't be possible because, again... if I go to Q8, I'm getting closer to this guy, so I have to go further away. That's pretty much it for routes anyways. Advances. This broken MMG really sucks, and I think I'm just going to... I think I have to do this for the point. You go there. That's kind of it I can really do. Like, I really don't want to, but the fact that the MMG, the machine gun broke... there's no point having them stuck on the upper floor. I need to get all up in this guy's grill, kill him, and then protect against anybody else that move against their hex. So CC ambush. So Germans and then Polish. There's no ambush, which is sad but gross. This will be a 9-2, so it's a 3-1. And I'm going to have the elite squad do a 1-2 against the squad that does not have the leader. So 3-1, so that'll be a kill, and then nothing happens. I don't believe that'll eliminate the DC, but I'll eliminate it anyways. So now if the Polish lose anything at all ever, it's game over. So huzzah. This is going to be a short game. Turn 2 weather, no change. Rally phase, there is one self-rally to attempt. Doesn't get it. Is there anything else? This guy can't rally or wouldn't rally. And then MMG is eliminated, which sucks. Because that is a good chunk of firepower there. Prep fire phase, there's not much I can really do. I need guys to move. So I think it's just a question of okay. So movement phase. Whoa. Movement phase, how do I want to do this? Let's do the easy ones first. So half squad with the leader. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bypass for 5, 6. Do I try to late CX or anything? No, because this is, even if they're conscripts, they might absolutely mess me up there, so there's no point. 4, 5, 8 here is going to bypass for 1. I don't think these guys could shoot at them. 2, and then 3, 4. M5, the half squad and the 9-1 are going to dash into 04. See, center and this, I think I could see it, but I'm just going to have one squad with leader shoot at them as a 4-2. And that is, yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's unfortunate, especially since that's a really good roll, but them's the breaks. So they will get into 04. Yeah, okay. This guy couldn't see him. There's no real other shots available anywhere. I'm going to dash M6 into 06 via N5. So here, other squad might as well. I will add the squad that's already shot as a subsequent. So it'll be 6 half to 3 down to 7 on 3 is a pin test check. They are fine. They will make it into the building. Yeah, I don't really have another shot I really want to do, so I'm going to keep them on first fire. This would be 2. There's nothing else for there. Fnatic and the leader are going to declare CX. That is grain. You know what? No, I'm gonna save that for afterwards. So this squad in K8 is going to normal move. So L7, Mortar's gonna shoot at him because why not? I think they miss because I need a 7 at their range. Yeah, so that'll be a miss. No rate. That sucks. 2. And then 3, 4. Screw it. Why not? I'm going to do a subsequent and final protective fire with the bottom guy. So it's an 8 firepower down 2. That will break the 447. The other guy is fine. I don't know actually if the leader would be included in a final protective fire in that sense. I'm going to assume no. They cower, so it's not 8, it's 6. So it's an 8 on 6, which is a pintash check, which they pass. This is a disaster for the Germans right now. There would be a acquisition in this hex, which is just something I need to keep in mind. Duolingo is killing me here. All right. Like I said, these guys will declare CX. They will bypass 1, 2, 3, bypass 4, bypass 5, 6, and then 7, 8. I think that should be fine. H5 wagon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll unload. There's one more movement for the guy with the LMG when he gets there. Similar idea over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? Can a wagon should be able to go in there, but how much is it for grain? 5? Okay, no. So they'll just get here, and then I'll have one movement. Yeah, I might as well just put them in there. There you go. Cool. I think that's all the movements. Yeah. There's no real shots I can take. Everybody's kind of either caught out or like this. Conscripts really just don't have the firepower to get through there, so there's not much I can really do. It's kind of, you hope that you get some open ground you can shoot at or through or whatever, and that's kind of it. Otherwise you're just, yeah, it's kind of just screwy. Defensive fire phase, like I said, nothing else I can really do. Advanced fire phase, there's an option. You know what? I will do take residuals off and defensive here. So I'm going to try a fire group with M7, N6, and O6. N6 and O6 will provide their regular firepower because they're adjacent. So it's an 8 plus 3 because it's halved for advanced fire phase. So it's an 11 firepower up 3. They will cower. So instead of 8, it's 6. And it's a 7 on 6, which is a normal morale check. Which that's insane. Leader's fine. Squad is fine. Other squad is fine. That is also insane when you think about it. I don't have any other shots. So routes, I need to have the guy in 07 has to route back. He can route into 08. He's fine. I think I'm going to send the leader with him. They can't be interdicted because of P6, essentially. Yeah. I don't think anybody else is broken or can route or anything, so yeah, that's it. Advances, there's a couple options here. So first and foremost, I definitely want these guys in there for that CC, and hopefully it does not go disastrously. The guy with the LMG is going to go to M6, and he's going to be joined by the guy with the MMG, because I don't want them to be targets of the mortar. The 458 is going to join the 9-1 because I'm going to want to try and start some fires. The 8-1 with the squad in Q3 is going to go to Q4. I just need the guys in O4 to cause fires. Q4 is more to prevent, check against this guy and this guy if they move. That's it, really. CC, because I moved into a building. Oops. Because I moved into a building, we got our ambush check that we always do. So Polish and then German. Okay, I'm just going to tie all the time. It is a 2-1 for the Polish and a 1-1 for the Germans. So 2-1, nothing. 1-2 or 1-1, nothing. All right. That turns into a melee, which is not what I'm looking for. And we have German turn 2. So German turn 2, weather, no change. Rallies, I'm going to try and self-rally the conscripts. They don't make it. And then the other guy, it is +4, but the building reduces that to +3, so they will come back. That sucks, because I don't have anything to defend against these guys joining the CC, which then equals things out. Prep fire, I forgot about these guys completely. 1 bypass, 2, 3, and then advance. There we go. Cool, problem solved. Prep fire phase. Do I have anything I can prep fire? Not really. It's not much of a point. Mortar needs to really... Well, I can't even move him. There's not much I can really do with this mortar. He's kind of good where he is. These guys will want to move. This guy is just going to stay there. Yeah. Movement phase, I'm going to have Q8. He's going to assault move to P7. Nobody can see him, so nobody can shoot at him. That's kind of it, really. These guys are fakes, so there's nothing to do with them. Defensive fire phase. I believe kindling is a prep fire phase action only, which sucks. And its own prep fire phase, yeah. It's the trying to hamper it that you can do otherwise. The MMG is going to get reassembled. That's kind of it. Yep, that's pretty much it. Advanced fire phase, none. Again, I don't like shooting on my own units in a melee, so I'm not going to do it. Route phase, there's nobody to do routes with. Advanced, the 237 is going to go into the building, and then the leader and squad are going to join this melee in 07. I don't have any other things to do, so we go to CC phase. There's only one. It's the ongoing one. It is a 1-to-1 for the Germans. I could target a single squad. Actually, you know what? I'll do that. 2-to-1 against the squad with the DC, because why not? The Polish side will do a 2-to-1 against one of the squads. So 2-to-1 for the Germans, and then 2-to-1 for the Polish. Unfortunately, that will be a kill, which means that the Polish will lose this one. Which is kind of unfortunate, but that just goes to show, like, if you lose a lot of units, well, cavalry is just very dangerous, and I rolled extremely well. What's my IFT rolls? Yeah, my average IFT is 6.3. And to give some perspective, I rolled 6 4s and 5 5s. So yeah. I did really well on my rolls, which is kind of crazy. My morale checks, on the other hand, were average. It's still 6.33. I just did not roll terribly. But at least my major rolls were more in the 6, 7, 8 area, whereas the IFT was way lower in comparison. And the only real difference is because I rolled 3 9s, a 10, 11, and a 12. So, yeah, unfortunately, that is the end of this scenario. I didn't even get to the point with the German reinforcements, which is just 2 squads, but they get an 8-1 leader, which is great, and an LMG on top of that. So, yeah, all right. What else would I have done? So, assuming that this melee does not end the game, the plan here is that this prisoner group is going to get evacuated. Now, that would get me 1 VP. I do need 5. So, presumably, 1 VP, that's great. I can safely assume that 04 would catch fire at some point, and turning into a blaze, that's a little harder to imagine. We'll say in 4 turns, or I guess technically because it'd be both sides, so it'd be 8 turns if I did it or whatever. In this prep fire phase. Yeah, so if I rolled for it, which is a task check, they will pass it, and then it would be... Oh, that's a kindling number, not a spread number. That's also very important. What's the kindling number for a stone building? 8? Well, I would get it. So I would get it immediately with the squad, which then means the half squad doesn't need to do anything technically, but they might not, because I think kindling you need to be a full squad, otherwise you get a -1. Yeah. So basically this would have a flame to it. I think it's safe to say that in 8 turns it's likely that it would turn into a blaze. So that's a second VP there. And then the idea is to have these guys essentially hunt down the conscripts and capture them. Um, I don't really think there's anything else I can really say about that. Um, Capturing, you'd want to do it against inexperienced personnel. It would cause them to. Oh, you know what? I think I've always been doing that. Yeah, wrong. Or have I been doing that wrong? No, I don't think so. Pretty sure I'm not. Anyways, so it'd be a -1 if it was against conscripts. They wouldn't get a plus to their stuff because they're just, unless they were also trying to capture. But why would you? Um, so yeah, the idea is like I could get a blaze in here. There's a world where the DC goes off. I lost both DCs, but there's a world where like, isn't any building that, yeah, per stone building hex rubbled. So there's a world where you could throw like a DC or place it and then have it explode. It takes out, you know, the top layer and then it rubbles and stuff. So potentially potentially you rubble a building and then you get 2 points for it or whatever. I think if I won this melee with all of my units, I would try to put a flame in there, so it's 2 points. So I'd be at 3 of 5, and then it's a matter of capturing, really just chasing and capturing conscripts. They don't have the movement to get away. They only have 3 movement, and if you can break them, then all the better because you can rush after them. So, you know, with this MMG and LMG, like, this is a good death stack. The units that are coming in from off board, while it's nice to have reinforcements for the Germans, it does mean that they'd immediately become vulnerable because they have to come in from the north. And if you don't bring them on, you might just not have the troops necessary to defend. I don't feel like my mortar was in a really good spot, but it's hard to really say where else I would put them. There is an argument for these woods on the western side because they do see a lot of open ground. So that's probably could be a screw up on my part. I kind of wanted the mortar just for that long range protection, so I could shoot, you know, cover here, cover some of the high ground in between these two buildings. And also, you know, if I need to, I can hit these woods because you only have one MMG, and having it at a higher level, at an upper level, at least allows you to, you know, check this open ground, whereas the mortar can check somewhere else. Yeah, and the mortar, you know, you're gonna get affected by a hindrance, so it's kind of pick your poison. But yeah, that will be it for Rally Point 29, the sound of hoofbeats. Apologies if anybody was expecting the campaign for today. Not that it was last minute, but you know, Rutan told me he wouldn't be able to make it, so had to make do. And that's just how things go. Again, do hope that Rutan's event goes well. For everybody who stopped by, thank you as always. I will hopefully see you on Monday. Monday, we will be playing another solo episode until I get a partner for Mondays. So, what am I looking at here? Let's see if I can give some spoilers, some fun spoilers for next time. I might do Matchek Fire Brigade from Friendly Fire, and that got reprinted in Journal Issue 8. It's a Friendly Fire scenario. Should be small enough. Has a lot of vehicles, presumably, in it. I'm not looking at it right now. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I have that scanned. Friendly Fire. Which one is it? 2. Friendly Fire Scenario 2. Yeah, some TKSs, some Vickers, some Panzer 2s, Panzer 1s, some armored cars. Should be a lot of fun. Controlling buildings, two maps, some overlays. Should be fun. So, yeah, for anybody who has the time, as always, I appreciate whenever there's comments, follows, likes, subscribes, blah, 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 blah. I shouldn't have to tell anybody how that works. You've probably used YouTube for far too many years now. I hope to see you on Monday. For everybody, have a lovely weekend. And otherwise, Unless there's some crazy stuff in programming, there will be campaign shenanigans next week. So I hope to see you then. It'll be some night stuff. Should be fun. Bye.